Good morning. Let me introduce Reverend Sandy.
Gosh, everyone, good morning, and welcome to Unity of Michiana's live-streamed Earth Day Sunday service. And apparently, the congregation is here with me today in these lovely faces. Now, you cannot see in front of me here. I have so many sitting in chairs. I just want to say thank you to whoever surprised me with this morning, and John's going to bring some more out too. It's like, oh my gosh, friends, you are here with us. So thank you for joining us this morning, and just want to share that at Unity of Michiana, we are a diverse and inclusive spiritual community, and we honor a positive path to spiritual living. And our vision here is a world transformed by spiritually awakened people, centered into the oneness of all. And so we are so grateful that you're here with us today. We just want to acknowledge, I'm going to set the guys down so that they can continue participating in the service. Just want to say thank you to all of you who are joining us. We are beginning to recognize that there are people from many states across the United States who are finding out about us and are participating in the service. I want to just do a shout out to my beloved family and friends who are in Southern California, Northern California, friends who are in Colorado and in Wyoming, Michigan, Illinois, and of course our Unity family, half of who are sitting here on these cardboard figures in front of me today, but all of us in this wonderful, vibrant spiritual community. So we're glad you're here. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate you participating. We want to also just bless and welcome all of our youth, our kids who are at home with their parents, and know that today especially will be a day that you may want to participate in and be a part of as we recognize and honor Earth Day that's coming up on Wednesday. So thank you again for being with us, and hi to everyone. And of course, you're going to post your comments and say hi to all your friends as well. So here in Unity, we start our service in lighting what we call the Christ candle. It is symbolic of the light of a Christ or a higher consciousness that shines from within each and every one of us. And now I'd like us to take a moment to open in prayer. Oh, as we just breathe into the beauty of this day, we celebrate this opportunity to join together in a way that might be different than we have done at other times. Yet we acknowledge that there is a oneness that connects us throughout this planet. The fibers of the energetic being of all creation that weave us together into a tapestry touch the depths of our hearts and open us to receive, to share, to give in this time that we are together. And so we give thanks for this activity of spirit that we would call the presence of loving Mother, Father, God, or perhaps divine universal presence, Holy Spirit. And so we acknowledge the activity of that infinite presence that moves through us, that joins us together. And we celebrate this time with open hearts and minds. We say thank you, God. Amen. And now John is going to open us with some music. We get to sing today. Going to invite you to sing John Weissman, our musician, is going to play a couple of opening songs, so join right in.
Yeah, please sing loud and strong. Make your dog whine and your cat scream. And I'll imagine I can hear you. That'll sound beautiful. Okay, so I've this one is new, probably new to you. I found it. It's perfect for birthday though, and it's pretty simple, and it has a call and response. So you're at home, so you can do either one you want. And Sandy's going to help me, and Susan's going to help me.
So everybody join in.
Yeah, join in.
Glenn Rothel actually was here on one of the Posi-Palooza concerts, so
Oh.
many of you may know him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I must have missed that one.
Yep.
We are all children of the greater. Surely our journey nice, right?
Thank you for that new song. That was lovely.
Yeah,
And
well, I'll do it again.
one of our own Unity music composers, and so thanks for finding that one.
Sure.
Appreciate it. So Unity has put out a daily inspirational message magazine since 1925. And it's a wonderful, wonderful start to any day, or at some time throughout the day when you might need a little bit of encouragement or upliftment. And we like to start our time of prayer and meditation, first of all, by reading from Daily Word. So I will share with you our daily word for today, which is understanding. I think I better put my glasses on so I can read it a little bit better. I open myself to spiritual understanding. When I feel frustrated by a personal or professional challenge, or feel unsafe or concerned about a situation or event, I seek greater understanding. When I try to understand, I open my heart. Maybe I just need to gather more information or request the advice of someone I trust. If I am in conflict with someone, I practice understanding by listening with a curious mind and a loving heart. I grow in spiritual understanding when I discern and heed my inner guidance. Beyond conscious thought, spiritual truth begins to illuminate my consciousness. As I release all that stands in the way of understanding and stand firm in the love that calls it forth, I am guided by my growing spiritual understanding. From Psalm 119, 144, your decrees are righteous forever. Give me understanding that I may live. The word for today is understanding. So I invite you now into a deepening time of prayer, of meditation. So I find for myself that it helps to stop to take a few deep breaths, to place my feet on the floor, or to allow my body to relax comfortably in order to be present and in this now moment. And I will be toning our singing bowl, which vibrates at that energetic level of love, the heart chakra. So as you listen to and as you feel the energetic flow of this vibration, let it open your mind and your heart to this moment of communion, a moment of oneness within your inner sanctuary, connected to the universal being, beloved Mother, Father, God. Breathing in, relaxing and letting go. We recognize this now moment to be our time, to set aside the natural, normal, busy thoughts of our outer world, past week, the week to come. We breathe into right here, right now. And we allow the focus of our attention to move into the heart of our being, into our solar plexus, into our heart chakra. And we just gently allow ourselves to float in that space of infinite connection with that which is greater than ourselves, with the flow of universal pure beingness, that as we relax and open ourselves and allow it to flow, breathes into us a new energy of being. Breathes into us a light that helps to heal away sorrows or challenges or difficulties. As we breathe in, we receive, and as we exhale, we release those ideas and that which no longer serves us in order to be replenished, in order to recognize that God is our source, that infinite spirit of the universe holds the intention for our greater good, inviting us always to see differently, to move forward creatively, to embrace and to love ourselves, to hold ourselves close. And to recognize that designed in the image and likeness of our Creator, which is infinite in nature, that we too have that infinite capacity to create anew, to heal from within to without, to embrace ourselves in a place of unconditional love that sets aside judgments, criticisms, and allows us to feel the freedom of owning our own uniqueness, unlike any other, and allowing it to shine forth, to take wings, to fly, to soar, to express. And so we take a moment to just be in this space of a oneness with all creation, with infinite goodness. And we allow ourselves to move each of us in our own way for a few moments into the silence of our inner being, into the silence of our oneness, which is that which we call God, Yahweh, breath, life, in silence. And so from this place of connection with the flow of all that is, with open hearts and grateful minds, we surround our prayer box in light, acknowledging the requests that people have placed within it, surrounding them in God's highest good, and taking a moment now to speak aloud the names of people, places, situations that we would especially bless at this time. Ann and Dale Curry, Isabel Wallop, Vicki and Evan Thompson, Mother, Daddy, David, Connie Joe, Mike, Unity of Michigan, Emil and Suzanne, Jolene and Richard, Suzanne, Martha, Jess, Jill, Brianna, Tim. And so knowing that through this positive intention of light that goes forth, we send a special prayer to all those who are first responders, to our doctors and our nurses, to those in our grocery stores, to those who are serving us, holding us in light, and with gratitude in our hearts, we send forth love and say thank you, God. Amen.
Hey guys. So this is a song by Daniel Nainamod. I don't think we've done it before, and it's not exactly about Earth Day, but it feels connected. I wanted to make this a tribute for Terry Peters because I know he's a big Daniel Nainamod fan. Hopefully he's listening.
And Sue Ellen, too.
And Sue Ellen.
Yes. And Jolene, who knows this one, I think, by heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And many others, yes. A lot of Daniel Nainamod fans.
So this is called Water. Sorry, I'm trying to get my composed. Here we go. That's off. Well, I've seen my share of struggles when I thought that I knew best. When I sailed through the storm instead of stopping to rest. And it always seems the hardest when I made my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. Wanna be like water coming down from the mountains in the shadowy canyon, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water headed uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? Well, he doesn't pick a fight, spreads his wings and just gives in. In the end, he always makes it home just fine. Guess he knows every stone to the side. Wanna be like water coming down from the mountain in shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water headed uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I'll let nature take its course. No more thinking that I know. for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache that I've felt. But in the end, it always seemed to win with expectation and regret. Life has plenty of surprises for me, yeah. Wanna be like water coming down from the mountains and shadowy canyon flowing from field to stream. Wanna be like water headed uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. One more time. Wanna be like water coming down from the mountains and shadowy canyon from pool to stream. Wanna be like water headed uphill no more. I am bound for the sea.
Oh, John, can you feel all these cardboard people here? Laughing,
Yeah,
going,
it sounds
yes.
like paper rubbing together.
Well, and thank you so much for bringing music. And we want to do a special shout out also to Melanie Gabris Miller, who is normally part of our music team, and she has been called up into service in the armed forces where she is out packing food and delivering necessities and things to people. And we are so grateful, Melanie, for all that you do. We're grateful to John being here every week as necessary, and so thank you so much for your creativity and that. So I just want to welcome you to our Earth Day Sunday service, and my title for today is Healing Planet Earth, Healing Ourselves, and celebrating Earth Day. Back in 1970, on April 22nd, 20 million Americans took to the streets, took to college campuses, to cities throughout the United States to begin to protest environmental ignorance, that place where we had stepped outside the boundaries of being responsible stewards of our planet. And they did so to demand new ways going forward of caring for this beautiful earth upon which we live. And that first Earth Day is credited with launching the modern environmental movement, and is now recognized as the planet's largest civic event. And so, of course, today it will be celebrated differently, given that we are in a time of social distancing, and yet it's wonderful to begin to check into many resources in regards to activities around Earth Day, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'd like to start off inviting us into a greater awareness of our responsibility as stewards, our responsibility of stewards of this planet. In Genesis 1:26, then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Dominion, friends. In other words, we have been tasked with a responsibility of engaging in that symbiotic relationship whereby we are nurtured by this beautiful planet that we call Mother Earth, yet where we need to be fully aware of our responsibility to nurture Mother Earth back. And it goes on in Genesis 2:15 to say, "Then the Lord took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to tend and to keep it." Charles Fillmore, in his book, Atom Smashing Power of Mind, says, "People everywhere on earth are now realizing as never before that the well-being of this world rests with its inhabitants. The pessimist moans, I could make a better world than this. Have any of you ever thought that? Oh my gosh, this world doesn't run so great. I could have made a better world. Fillmore goes on to say, the optimist sings, go to it. And that's what God put you here for. Friends, we sometimes get into that pessimistic, judgmental position and say, well, should have been done better. Somebody should do something. And we forget that we have been tasked as stewards of this beautiful planet Earth to be the ones to nurture and to take care of. Author and singwriter Brooke Medicine Eagle says, there is hope if people will begin to awaken that spiritual part of themselves, that heartfelt knowledge that we are all caretakers of this planet. Friends, so as we look around and see, what has our stewardship been like? I think it was Jacques Cousteau, though I don't have a slide for him. I think it was Jacques Cousteau who said, we use our air and our water like garbage cans. And unfortunately, over time, we have not done a very good job of stewardship, of caring for this planet. We have let ourselves be immersed in our own self, in our own ideas of what we should have, in that sort of, in that place of feeling a sense of entitlement. Entitlement. It's always been there. It will always be there. It's limitless. Hey, we can just dump things here. We can put things into the sky, and it's not my problem. And yet, friends, we have lost track of that symbiotic relationship that is the design of nature, that is the design of all creation, that calls us to interact not only with each other, but with the animals, the birds, with the oceans, the fish, with the plants, and recognize that we are all here to support one another, and to know that it is our choiceful duty to make a difference, to love our Mother Earth. Scripture, Ezekiel 34:18 says, is it not enough for you to feed on the good pasture, that you must tread down with your feet the rest of your pasture, and to drink of clear water, that you must muddy the rest of the water with your feet? This is a reminder, friends, of our self-centered, oftentimes, focus, where we feel entitled and we think we need to have things a certain way, like they've always been, or that we don't remember that it is up to us not only to receive, but to give, to nurture, to heal. And so this is a wonderful time for us to have a greater focus and a greater awareness in acknowledging Earth Day and in celebrating Earth Day. So we have been experiencing, as we continue to say, unprecedented times of this pandemic that we have all, throughout our world, been navigating through. And how wonderful it will be if we are able to recognize some of the lessons that we can learn in having gone through this experience, so that we may, in the future and as we go forward, so that we may be more responsive to things ahead of time versus then having to be reactive in crisis. So as we recognize in these times that we've been forced into the necessity of social distancing, of self-quarantine, of being there for each other in ways that are different, of working at home, of having our children at home, of learning how to engage differently, of learning how to reach out differently. And in this time when there have been fewer automobiles out driving the roads, there are clearer skies, there are definite differences that have been made because we shifted the way we have always done things. Always done them that way because that's what we knew, it was what was simple, it was what was easy, mostly because it's what we knew, and it's hard to make change unless we're kind of nudged, and we were far more than nudged into this process. Now, in going forward, there is a momentary shift in our environment. Yet, friends, are we going to recognize that this is an opportunity to change our behavior in going forward and to make a difference? To make a difference that will be lasting. Gaylord Nelson, who served as a Wisconsin governor and who was the founder of Earth Day, said, "There is a great need for the introduction of new values in our society, where bigger is not necessarily better, where slower can be faster, and where less can be more." Friends, these times of being on our own and in quarantine or social distancing have offered us an opportunity to breathe into, to go within, to recognize that all of the habitual patterns that oftentimes are not healthy for our lifestyle, for our planet, that we can indeed change them. And we can recognize that as small as we may seem at times, that we indeed can make a difference. We indeed can make a difference. And so as we begin to move towards a Wednesday, which is officially Earth Day, but I'd say, hey, don't wait for that. Just jump right on in now and begin to take a look at the ways your life is different now and how that has changed the pattern of your being. And instead of looking to a ways down the road where, oh, I'll just go back to how it's always been, take a look, friends, at how we might live differently, being far more responsible stewards of this beautiful planet upon which we live. Taking time to slow down, taking time to reassess our priorities, and to know that there are so many things that we can do to begin to change and to heal and to bless this planet Earth. So I know over the years we have usually been here present as a spiritual community, and we have had sheets that we wrote on of making commitments or choices around some changes we will make. And I would like you to just sit for a moment to think about your lifestyle, to think about the choices you make. And I know that sometimes as I look at making a difference or changing my patterns in how I am present in this world, in this planet, it feels overwhelming to me, and I think, well, for heaven's sakes, what good is it going to do just little me to maybe recycle or to instead of using straws, to take my own straw, or not to use a straw at all. And I realize that sometimes I feel insignificant, and yet I love this quote by Betty Reese, and she says, If you think you are too small to be effective, you have never been in bed with a mosquito. Now, Vicki, if you're out there watching, it's my older sister, and she knew I did not like mosquitoes at all, and that little high pitch that goes on, and they go around your head, and she would laugh when I would jump up and try and catch that mosquito, in the dark in the night. But think about that, friends, that small of a creature can make a difference. And so, friends, so can you and I. So can you and I. And what's important is to begin to actually do something. However small it may seem, it will indeed make a difference. Dave Foreman, who's an American environmentalist, he says, do something. Pay your rent for the privilege of living on this beautiful blue-green living earth. So friends, as we begin to, I just want to kind of invite you into an awareness of some of the options that you have. And I would invite you to get the kids, your teenagers, your friends or family, challenge them. Do something on Facebook. Do a Zoom call and say, okay, I've sat with it. This is a change I want to make. What change are you making? Have your kids write lists. You write lists. Pick something. Pick one or two things to make a difference. And I want to share a few stats with you in regards to that. So recycling one aluminum can saves enough energy to watch 3 hours of TV. How about that, kids? Yeah. Well, and us adults too. Yeah, it takes 90% less energy to recycle aluminum cans. 90% less energy to recycle them than to manufacture new ones. Okay, and here's one. The average person tosses out about 4 pounds of garbage every day. How could we reduce the amount of garbage that we just unthinkingly toss out? We also use about 12,000 gallons of water each year, whether it's by leaving the tap on when we brush our teeth, whether it's in taking long showers, whether it's in washing our cars at home. We forget that if we take it to a facility that washes cars, it uses considerably less water because they have it down to a science. So treat yourself to a car wash and know that you are making a difference in the environment. Newspapers. How many of you recycle newspapers? How many of you throw them out? Only 20% of newspapers in the U.S. are recycled. If they were all recycled, it would save 250 million trees every year. Every year, friends. And we know that there are around 14 billion, that's not million, that's with a B, 14 billion pounds of garbage thrown into the oceans. The plastic garbage kills at least 1 million creatures in the oceans each year. So as we're coming upon this 50th anniversary of Earth Day, the theme is climate action. Climate change represents the biggest challenge to the future of humanity and the life support systems that make our world habitable. If you can bring up, Susan, the earthday.org slide. Friends, I invite you to sit with your family, sit with your kids, and go to, well, goodness gracious, that didn't come out well at all. I had it highlighted in white, but it must have decided to change its mind and go back to blue. So, actually, friends, it's easy. It's www.earthday.org. So, earthday.org, go there, and then you will find many ways that they invite you to participate. They show you activities you can do with your kids. Stop and think for a moment, and I'll ask you as you're sitting there to maybe post onto the Facebook an activity that you might engage in on Wednesday, or maybe starting today. Maybe you're going to go outside and pull some weeds, or dig in the earth, plant a new plant. I know that we can still stay within safety bounds because I know we can go to nurseries and they will order plants, they'll bring them out to us. Wow, how nice is that? Begin to think of ways that you might cut back on your usage, like recycling water bottles. And not only recycling them, but what about just getting a canister or a bottle that you use regularly? And when you go into Starbucks or wherever you go for your coffee, take your own cup in so that you're not using a new cup all the time. Another one, I always think about this when I travel in the airport, don't waste napkins. I go and I'm going to take some food on the plane. I think, well, I better have a napkin. Well, and then I only use one and I took 3. Well, it says if everyone in the U.S. used 1 less napkin a day, current figures show that it could save 1 billion pounds of space in landfills. 1 billion pounds of space, 1 napkin less. So what about if you're at home, instead of a napkin at home, what about just a wet towel? And what I find when I take more than what I need, I end up tucking them in my purse. So I have a whole assortment of napkins in my purse for later. We already talked about recycling old newspapers. Glass. Glass is so important because it takes, I can't even remember the figure, how long it takes glass to degrade. And so recycle your glass. And it can reduce related water pollution by up to 50% and air pollution by up to 20%. Use energy efficient light bulbs. If every house in the USA replaced just 1 light bulb, it would reduce pollution by the same amount as removing 1 million cars from the road. Okay, did everybody write that down? Is everybody, Susan, what are they posting stuff on there? Are they going to change out their, oh, Kevin is looking. Are you looking at any of them, John? Are they posting about changing out their light bulbs? Come on, guys, let's make a pledge. Let's write it down. I'm going to change just 1 light bulb. Now, many of us have already done that. So then we pick out something different. Reduce your junk mail. There's places you can call in and say, okay, take me off the list. Get a reusable straw. Or just drink direct from the cup. And be sure when you go into restaurants to let them know ahead of time that they don't put that straw on the table, because once they do, then they cannot use it again. Friends, there are so many different ways. We can go out and plant a tree that will put wonderful, wonderful elements into our air. We can engage with each other. Even though we're at home, we can still do things that are out in nature. We can go for a walk. We can ride a bike instead of driving a car. Oh, friends, this is a time. It is a time to recognize, having been self-distanced and at home more, and having seen how it can affect our wonderful ecology, our everything around us, our planet. Let us make a commitment to not go back to doing things as we always did, but to truly make a few choices, to write down a pledge today. Post it on Facebook. Post it on your refrigerator. I pledge to be sure lights get turned off and don't get left on in a room. I pledge to use less napkins. I pledge to use my own water bottle versus plastic water bottles. Or if I need to use plastic water bottles, I choose to recycle them. There's so few that actually end up recycled. Make that commitment today and know that each of us, even in a small way, do indeed make a big difference. 1 light bulb. 1 light bulb. So make your plans. Know that no action is too small. Do not feel overwhelmed. Just know something that your heart calls you to do, and choose to do that. And get out in this big, beautiful sunshine and connect into the planet. Oh, John, did you have something you were going to?
Would you like to hear some comments?
Yeah, John's got some comments coming in. Okay, here we go. We're going to hear some stuff that's posted.
Teresa says I can change the light bulbs in my room.
Okay, there we go.
And Sue Ellen Peters, she commented that the napkin comment really struck her.
Yeah.
Clarissa use newspapers to wash windows and mirrors with vinegar and water.
Yeah, so instead of using all the stuff on the shelves, you use vinegar and water, you use newspaper that you already have, okay?
And there's some more.
Well, John, thank you for sharing, and friends,
Sure.
continue to do that. There is a small portion of an American Indian Sioux prayer, and it goes like this. Teach us to walk the soft earth as relatives to all that live. And friends, as we go forward in this next week, let us remember that. Let us really consider how it is that we reduce our pollution footprint. We heal planet Earth through mindfully reducing our pollution footprint. Friends, that's how we go about healing. And as we mindfully do that, as we begin to take self-responsibility, as we begin to be good stewards, we heal within ourselves. We recognize that we can be responsive versus that reactive to crisis afterwards. We recognize that we have inherent within us that power to make a difference, to heal our planet and to heal ourselves. And Susan, I'm sorry because I jumped around, so if you could pull that that one back up from the Sioux prayer, that slide. And so in closing, I would just like to invite you to kind of close your eyes for a minute and hear this beautiful little quote from Kahlil Gibran, and allow it to move you forward into how you experience planet Earth. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Let us all engage, dear friends, in making a difference, in being conscious, and in loving our planet. And so now, as we conclude the service today, I just invite you to touch into that sense of gratitude, a sense of wanting to participate in, to contribute to this unity of Michiana and spiritual centers in being present and here and supporting each other and moving forward. So it is a time to take your love offering, as we call it here, whether you call it a donation, a love offering and contribution. We are grateful for that, and in Unity, we have different ways that you can do that. You can see the sign in front of you. You can either enter the number 77977 on your phone and enter UOMSC. So by cell, you're led through a process, and you can just give once, or you might want to just set it up to give on a recurring basis. You know, $5, it's wonderful. $10, do I hear 100? You know, it's like, friends, this is a place where we are nourished and blessed. And so thank you for those gifts. And also, you can go to our website at unitymichiana.org, and you can contribute there. And so we invite you now, as you hold in consciousness a sense of gratitude in your hearts. We just breathe together, and our affirmation for this month, I'll have you say it with me as I say it aloud here, knowing that God is our source and our supply, and whether we give monetarily, whether we give prayerfully in consciousness, it all contributes to the well-being and the upliftment of Unity of Michiana and the spiritual message that goes out in the world. So join with me in our affirmation. I give and receive with gratitude in my heart, knowing God is my infinite supply of prosperous good. And so we take a moment to bless these love offerings, knowing that they are given in that recognition that God is our source. And that God is infinite in nature, and it is a process, it is a cycle of giving and receiving. Just as we receive from Mother Earth, we give to Mother Earth. As we receive from each other in spirit, we give to each other. And we are grateful for this continual flow of infinite grace. We say thank you, God. Amen. And now I'll just quickly run through a few of our happenings and events. Of course, things are a little different when we're not gathering together in person here yet, though we have some opportunities for us to connect. And the group that has been meeting on Wednesday night has really been enjoying a time to come together through a Zoom video call. So we actually can see each other, and we just go over some aspects. There's this wonderful book, Falling into Ease, and it seems to have been just right on target with ideas and ways for us to look differently. And so we talk about that. We also share our feelings, what's going on for us. It's a wonderful time of just gathering together. And you can join in on that Wednesday evenings at 6:30 Eastern Daylight Time till approximately 8. We send out an email in the morning to give you the link to be able to join into that. Feel free to be in touch here at the office if you would like to be included in that if you've not been receiving it. And just know that it is a wonderful time to come together, and we just have felt this wonderful bonding, and even if you have not been on any of the other calls, you will fit right in. So please feel free to join us on Wednesday evening at 6:30. We want to, of course, remind you that Susan is continuing her regular office hours here at the church, and I also am holding space here at the church together. We just hold that consciousness of our family, and that we are here and we are available. You can call the office, you can call or text me, set up a time for a talk through a Zoom call or just by phone. So please know that we are here and holding this conscious space in a spiritual light through this time. And of course, we are now live streaming our video services on Sundays, and they are available throughout the week. They will now be available on our website also. So if you do not catch them on Facebook, or if you have friends, you can let them know. They can just go to unityofmichiana.org, and they can click and they can watch any of the past live stream, or they can listen if they prefer. So we just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this gathering virtually, and knowing that our hearts connect through time and space, and that we are one with each other. I'm grateful for all of these people who are here in cardboard form for now. Their beautiful faces are smiling at me. Thank you to the dear precious angel who did that. And will you join with me now in our peace song and a prayer for protection?
Oh, the sun and the wind and rain bring everything we need. Father, sky above, Mother, peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth. Oh, sisters and brothers all the world around, lift our voices high in a joyous sound. Peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth.
And in unity, we close with our prayer for protection. So join with me now wherever you are. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is, and so we let it be. Thanks, one and all, for joining us. Blessings.
That's the beginning of a song I started writing, so it's a little raw, but something to play.
Thanks, John.